industrial and organizational psychology PhD student at Keiser University. And I am here today with my lovely mom, Renee Piatt. And I kind of call her Keiser mom. She kind of, takes everybody under her wing. But today we're going to talk about some activities that you've done, and then also a little bit about what's been going on in your life the last few months and our lives and how we've kind of went through that journey. So we'll just kind of go and get started. So everybody calls you
Momma Renee.
Momma Renee. So, and you kind of just take that, forever. I can't remember nobody not calling you Momma Renee.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've always been that teen mom since I was growing up, making
T-ball.
Yeah, T-ball. I think we were kindergarten. So going through this journey with me has been hard.
Very hard.
Yeah. So on everybody, not just me.
Not
but
just me.
Everybody
in the family.
Yeah, everybody in the family. And so, but with that, you've also kind of taken on other adult students that are my classmates.
Mm-hmm.
And they have said, your mom is now my mom, because a lot of them may not have a mom. Maybe their mom's already passed or something like that, and they need advice or just somebody to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's been...
or sometimes they just need a care package.
Yeah. So mom is a fantastic care package person, and she taught me everything I know about that. So, let's talk about, before we get into what's happened the last few months, and I'm not talking about Christmas and Thanksgiving, but before that, let's talk about our first residency. We had to go down to West Palm, and you want to make sure, you always make sure that everything's comfortable, right? Whenever, even when I was growing up, you're like, I just want to make sure you have everything that you need. And that, there's a lot to be said for that, because a lot of parents maybe don't do it or don't know how to do it, or they don't have parents that do it at all, or maybe they don't have their parents. So I'm very grateful and blessed that I always had that mom to do that. So you were always in the middle of making sure that everything gets done. And so first residency, you're like, oh, we should make care packages for all the...
I asked
when she says we, by the way, she means me and her. Like, we is never just mom. Like, I have to get involved in this too. So we made care packages for everybody.
I asked how many girls were going to be there, and
or classmates, girls or guys,
whatever. And I said, well, we got to go get bags, and we got to go buy stuff, and they have to have a bag. And so there was this great big huge box
that we had to make room for in the car.
Yeah, that you really didn't have room.
But I didn't really have room.
Yeah,
because I got to take luggage.
Yeah, well, that's another story.
Yeah. So I get down there and I have all these bags with all these, and people just are just overwhelmed with the fact that you even did that, because that wasn't me. I would not have done that. I would have been like, hey, we're gonna go grab a burger and we'll be good. So then the next year I have to go to residency again,
right?
And we bump it up a little bit and ordered bags.
Yep.
Of course, our classmates were really grateful, and they chipped in a little bit, because they weren't just regular bags. They were custom Keiser doctoral residency 2 bags. So
with their names.
With their name, was it names or initials or something
initials,
like that?
Initials.
In their colors,
yeah,
whatever. So
bumped it up.
So, and then if they didn't want one, they didn't have to get one, but it was very special for them. And then we put little gifts.
But then the bag was filled too.
Yeah, exactly. So through that, you've met a few of my classmates that, since we're online students, you've met a few of my classmates that have either visited or came and stayed or this, that, or the other.
Right.
So you haven't met a whole lot of them.
No, just a couple of them.
Mm-hmm. They don't live. One, I think one of them lives here, and we're not going to mention names today in this, but one of them, several of them live nearby, but
right.
Most of them are the ones that are, live out of state.
Right.
They're flying into Tampa, and so with that, we'll fast forward, and I went back in this year.
Yeah.
A third residency, 2024,
last
not this year, but 24, I went to residency, not as a student actively participating in residency, but as the president of SGA for Keiser, along with my counterparts doing Psych-Chi Honor Society and all that. So we were down there, just doing what we do, only we were in person instead of online. And so we did the same thing, right? So
only it was pouring down rain.
It was pouring down rain
when you were leaving.
And we had this time we did a girls' road trip.
Yes.
And we were loading, and my mom was a miracle, and it was a torrential downpour.
Yes, it was.
Like, there's no reason anybody should be out in the rain. I mean, it was so bad. I mean, we had our boots on, our everything, and my mom gets out there with an umbrella and is shoving stuff in the back of the car, and the girls are we were ready to go. You
guys were in the car.
We weren't able to get everything out of your car and into our car, and it was just a nightmare. So, and mind you, we're all adult students, but it was crazy. So we're throwing everything up in there, and we were like, okay, here we go. Yeah. So I think that was 2023. 2024, it was just a couple of us that went on a road trip this last year. So we've had some we've had some experiences for sure.
Yep.
So we get back and we go through August and September, and then tragedy hits the state of Florida.
Yes. And
if you were hidden under a rock and you don't know that two hurricanes hit within, I think, a week of each other.
Yes,
Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. And we weren't the only family that was devastated. Thousands of families have been devastated, and just, and not just by losing homes or anything. There are people that lost income because they were out of work during that time, and there's lots of devastation beyond just a home and belongings, food, cars, so this is not the first time that you or our family has been devastated by a tragedy, and nor I don't think that we know anybody that has not been hit by that. So it's not our first time. The first time was, I think, 2013, where we lost our home, and at that time you were living with us. But Hurricane Helene hits. Yep. And can you tell us a little bit about where you were living, and because you were living in an apartment?
I was living at Madeira Beach, less than a block off of the beach.
Yeah.
And actually, it was just across the street.
Yeah.
And so, as normal,
I call you and I say, you got to come.
Yep.
You got to come to my house.
It was mandatory evacuation, so I put everything up on top of my bed, and my bed was on risers. So anyway, my bed comes up pretty high, and so I packed my car with what I need for a couple of days for a hurricane. Well, then the hurricane increased. And needless to say,
everything was gone.
This time we lost everything.
Yeah. So the good thing was that you were at my house.
Yep.
And you were safe and you weren't harmed. And you brought your car.
Yes.
Which some people, I guess, left their cars. I don't know the whole situation with that, but so it was days before we could ever even access the beach.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 days before.
Yeah,
they
before we
allow
could
us
get,
in.
yeah, and then we get down there and we have to walk, however far that is. At least
It's almost a
mile,
from
yeah.
the corner of
well,
the bridge.
where we had to park
Yeah.
and then walk down. It was probably 1.25 miles, somewhere around there. And when we start walking, we didn't even walk down Gulf Boulevard.
No, we were on the next street behind it.
Yeah, and it was a war zone.
It was
I never.
devastating. I just couldn't believe all the damage and the businesses that were gone, the houses that were wiped out, and all the Airbnbs that the walls weren't even there. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
it was just like, oh my God, what am I gonna see when I get to my place?
Yeah,
You know?
and that's I
It
think
was scary.
I think the anticipation is what kills you the most, right? Like the not knowing what you're gonna be facing, because we didn't know if your door was still there. We didn't know if your stuff was still there. The good thing is that the county sheriff and everything, and all the local, safety
Police
procedures and
everybody.
stuff did keep people from looting and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, our county officials did everything that they could in their power to make it as safe as possible.
It was pretty strict to get in.
But our walk was quite a bit.
It was 90 degrees.
90 degrees. It was hot. It was smelled.
Oh.
And we've we're from Oklahoma.
Right.
So just so everybody knows, we're from Oklahoma. And so we've seen devastation from tornadoes, but this is a different kind of devastation. And our house burned down in 2013, so we've seen fire devastation. And so, but this was different.
This was different.
So when you walked in, what was your,
It was just the smell. Just you couldn't stay in the room very long. It was just horrible. It was. Oh.
yeah. And so I always tell people that, we weren't, when you lose everything and then, basically 10 years later or 11 years later, you lose everything again. You're not really attached to a lot of things, and you really figure out what's,
Right.
we like the comforts of a couch and a nice quilt or,
Right.
a pillow or something. But when push comes to shove, you're like, I got 2 t-shirts, because you weren't.
I didn't.
We've had tropical storms,
Right.
and
Many.
we've
I
4-wheel
packed-
drive through them.
and I packed for like maybe 2 days work clothes, which were t-shirts and
Because we did not
shorts.
anticipate this.
And a couple pairs of sneakers, depending on what I
What
I brought.
Yeah.
But I didn't load up my car and pack everything, and I haven't in the past either.
And then
I put everything up on top of the bed and it's been fine.
Then the tables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we didn't
The bed
know
was
it was
soaked.
going to be a Category 5 until it was too late. And there's no way you could get over there.
No, they already closed it.
Because you're on Gulf Boulevard, which is over a couple of bridges to get to the water, right?
Right.
You're on the beach, basically.
Yeah, I'm on that little island.
Yeah. So right up from, and if you guys don't know where Madeira Beach is, it's right up from Treasure Island and St. Pete Beach and south of
Indian
Rocks,
and
Reddington,
Beach.
and Clearwater. So she's right in the middle of that all. So we access it. Basically, everything's just junk. I mean, it's been sitting there. It's nasty. There's no way you can save it. And as we're walking, we're seeing in front of houses just tons of stuff out in front of homes, right?
Yeah,
Beds and stuff.
piles.
And we're
piles.
thinking this
And
is going to be
walls,
bad.
Not even, yeah.
And the closer we get, the worse it gets in our minds, right? And it was bad when we got in there. And so we went in there, and basically the only thing that you could save was anything that was up by the ceiling. That's it. I mean, that really was it. Everything else, like the refrigerator was turned over, and the bed was just soaked and
wet.
it was nasty.
Ugh. nasty.
So we go through that all, and so the purpose of us really sitting down to talk is because of something that I had said in a couple of SGA meetings or classrooms or whatever, thanking my classmates, and we did not understand, or I guess I didn't anticipate that we would have the outpouring of support that we had from friends and family.
It's been amazing.
But today we're talking about a different kind of family, which is my online graduate school, classmates, administration,
Right.
just professors, you know, and even their families, right? Like, hey, my mom, you know, this is my classmate, and it's her mom reaching out to my mom, and they've never met, right?
No, but we talk.
Right. So tell me a little bit about what it was like when, you know, you get a text message, not from me, but from one of my classmates that was like, hey, Momma Renee.
I just start crying because they go in and
it's okay.
They're so they're so not sappy, but I get sappy, and it's just very heartwarming because I'm a very giving person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not I don't accept gifts very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a downfall of mine,
Mm-hmm.
but I was never brought up to receive. I was brought up to always give, always give, always give. My mom and dad both were like that, and so it's very hard for me to accept stuff from people.
Yeah.
And so when I get the text messages from these girls, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, and I just start crying.
Yeah.
But it's so sweet, so loving, and it's something it sticks in your heart.
Yeah. So we kind of, I'm trying not to cry. Normally I would be, I have a few tears in my eyes, I gotta be honest. But, so we, some of our friends and family had initiated like a GoFundMe and an Amazon wish list, which I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know, like, I was like, what? I don't even know what this is, right? And so the next thing we know, I mean, we know friends and family, like our close friends and family, start, you know, pouring in, you know, blessings is what we call them, as blessings. And the next thing you know, here comes cards and wish list items and little, even a note cards, like note cards in the mail that you got, and we've got a few of them here, from my classmates and professors, and that didn't even have. Now let me tell you something. Professors didn't even have the links. Like, I had classmates that said, "Can you send me the links?" But I didn't send it out. Like, it wasn't mass media or anything like that.
We didn't do that.
Nothing like that. It was just by verbal
word
communication,
of mouth.
word of mouth. So, so what I want to do is I'm not going to say their names, but this is just a few that I pulled. So from the wish list, it says, "Enjoy your gift, love you." And I'm not going to say their names because I don't want anything like that. This is personal.
Yes.
Right. So one of my classmates says, "You are in my prayers, wishing you all the best. Peace and blessings always. Love you." And you've never met that person. You're going to make me cry.
I know.
"You are in my prayers. I know God is going to work everything out in your favor. May God bless you and keep you in in his love. I want to say prayers. Do you want to stop for a second?
No, it's okay.
So here's another one, which this is the one that really kind of got us. It says, Miss Piatt, I am a graduate student, doctoral candidate at Keiser University in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Andrea and I are enrolled in different disciplines, which I have friends, not just in IO psychology,
Right.
PhD, but all over,
Right.
you know. We often attend various online special appearances by guest presenters. I'm sorry to hear of your devastating loss. I hope this helps out a little bit. And I'm not going to say who it is, but they had sent some monetary value, so it was very nice and kind of them to do that.
Yep.
I'm trying to make sure that I turn that over. And then this one, it says, sometimes there are no reasons, and it says only caring. So tell me a little bit about, like, not knowing, like, they know us, but they don't know us.
Right.
Like, they know me, and they probably, I think all of them have met me. But we had some that we didn't even know that came through, right? Like, we had cards that I was like, I don't even know who these people are.
Yeah.
You know. And then
it took me a while. I had to do some research to find it, but it was some.
They either called me or texted me or emailed me and said, "Hey, did your mom get blah blah blah?"
Right.
And I'm like, "What?" And then professors, and I'm like, "Listen, you don't have to do this." And professors that I didn't even expect, some of them I don't even know, sent me just an email.
Yeah.
Right. So what does that? We're almost done, and you can, finish wiping your eyes. So what does that make you? How does that make you feel? With me being at Keiser University, because we're definitely, a different institution, or we favor a different institution, lifelong.
Right.
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 But this institution has changed not only my life but yours.
It's changed a lot since you started going there, and
how does it make you feel to know that
as
an online student?
I feel like when you're struggling with something, a course or something like that, I don't have to worry as much, because I know that you got other students that are there on an email or a phone call or something that will help you through it. And it's a family. It's a family, it's caring, and people are there to reach out and help you. And you can always go up to Keiser University and they will help you.
But how does that make you feel?
It makes
after
me feel
this happened?
Really good to know that there are still people out there that are giving, that care, that come together in a crisis. Mm-hmm. And they're there to help people. Mm-hmm. And that's what we need more of in this world.
And what about, what do you have to say about Keiser, all these students and Keiser administration, Keiser University as a whole now, that you've experienced all this love and compassion and heartwarming, little notes, like the person that, only sees me in certain situations, right? They've never talked to you.
No.
So how does that make you feel about Keiser University as a whole?
Well, that's what I said. They're more.
How does it make you feel to be a part of that family?
It makes me feel really good, because it makes me know that there is caring people out there, and that Keiser does come together when there's a devastation or something horrific that happens or whatever. But you can go up to the university and you can walk in and you can get assistance there. Everybody up there is really super nice.
But there's a lot of students that are not in Florida.
Right.
And so as an online student, which I am, even though I'm in Florida, I'm still an online student. How does that make you feel?
Really good to know that you're attached to a university that has caring people and that has the caring that you need when somebody's in college, whether they're on campus or online.
Mm-hmm.
They still need that love and hope and faith that needs to go along with all of it.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that a university is there for their students.
Yeah.
Whether it be you're 4.0 or whether you're struggling with a 3.0, you're online or in class, it doesn't matter. Go to the, you got people there that love you, that help you.
Right. And we love that you're, definitely a supporter, obviously, of Keiser University. And we definitely appreciate everything that you've done as a mom. And, just to our audience, definitely, an older student. But we still have moms. And one of the moms actually reached out to you and spoke to you on the phone.
Yes.
And she said, you don't know me and I don't know you, but I want you to know that I love you.
Right.
And you're our family.
Right. I think she's on a cruise right now.
But that just,
I think,
the purpose of us talking today is because people think that online studies, it doesn't happen. This organic love cannot happen over an online student's journey.
You gotta be willing to step out, I believe, like you do. And when you're attending your online class, you see people there, shoot them an email and say, hey, hi, I'm so and so, how are you? But if you just sit in class and don't talk to anybody and don't say nothing and are kind of like blind, then you're not going to experience everything out of the university or the class or the online program that you can truly experience and take with you the rest of your life.
And on the flip side of that, we have been the ones that have taken care of others as well in their time of loss or crisis. And like we've had, like I'll call you and say, hey, one of our classmates, there's been some that we know really well and some that we don't know as well, that have lost a parent.
Right. Or
that have lost, was in a car wreck or whatever the situation is. And you're the first person to, like, we need to send flowers or we need to send a card or,
No, I get on Amazon.
We need to order something on Amazon or, something like that. So to wrap this up, and I do appreciate you sitting down, and I know Dr. Keiser and I know or Dr. Robert Keiser and our Vice Chancellor of the Graduate School, as well as Mr. and Mrs. Keiser. I know that everybody appreciates you sitting down with me today, and they wanted me to do the interview with you because it would be difficult for them to ask you questions, and we wanted to be comfortable. But do you have anything that you want to say to them as, this is your time that you get to say any appreciations or thank yous or whatever to the audience? And I know this is tough, and I told you it was going to be a little tough, right?
Right. I just want to thank everybody for everything they've done for you and our family, and it's just really, really good to know that you have a university behind you. because you're almost done with your program.
Yeah.
You're gonna almost graduate.
Almost. We're almost there. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But anyway, I just can't thank everybody enough for everything they've done and how they've helped you, and all the girls and everybody, guys, whoever, classmates, have all helped you, and the love that they've all shared and everything. It's greatly appreciated, very much so.
And I just want to say real quick, it's not just these.
No,
we have tons of these. But also we've had classmates that have reached out to you via text.
Yeah.
Like, Annie, what's your mom's phone number, so I can just text her personally.
Yep.
And it becomes a personal thing between you and them, because I like them to do that rather than for me to go, oh, here's what so and so said or whatever. Right. So it's not just this little bit. There's much more where this came from, and we're very grateful for that and very thankful. So we'll wrap up. Do you have anything else that you want to say to anybody?
If you can get into Keiser, get into Keiser. It's a good university. We love it. We'll be indebted to them for the rest of our lives. They'll be in our hearts. They'll be in our prayers.
And probably in our pocketbook. Forever. We'll be indebted to them forever.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap this up. And the last thing I wanted to say is, probably most people are wondering, well, why are we talking about that? And then the reason is because in probably an SGA meeting or one of my meetings or classes, I had expressed a deep gratitude. And actually I'd said just what you said, that I'll be indebted to Keiser for the rest of my life because of the outpouring of support.
Right. And
it's from strangers in my class, and some of them have never met me. Some of them aren't even in my class, and that just doesn't happen.
No,
not at a university. We're talking about university students, university administration, university professors, and while it does happen, in this day and age, there's so much that goes on that people have to give their money or their time to, charities and stuff like that.
But it's not all about the monetary. It's about somebody took the time to
sit down
write a
and
card.
letter.
Somebody took the time to send a text message or an email
Or call you.
or call. And that's all just as important as somebody giving $200 or
whatever monetary
Amazon
value.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good, and it's all very heartwarming, and I am very grateful for every one of them and everybody.
Yeah. And you even made it to where you're like, I have to have their addresses. I want to send them a thank you note. Everybody gets a thank you note. And I was like, okay, well, they understand.
There's two on the table that I need
addresses
for.
She's actually asked me for this. So anyway, we will wrap this up. And thank you so much for visiting with us and visiting with me. That's my mom. And so we have a long journey. Not a long journey. It's a short journey this year. But we're getting ready to do some celebration all year, and we're gonna have some fun and keep rolling. So I'm so happy that you are recovering. We're never truly recovered because of the emotional trauma that it causes, not just you but everybody, and we know that because we're in the middle of it. But we are recovering. With your physical. We're sitting on her couch in her living room. So we have made leaps and bounds in just a couple of months, and then also with the holidays as well. So we'll wrap this up, and thank you so much for visiting with us.
You're welcome.
All right. I love you, Mom.
I love you.
All right. Well, bye, guys.
Bye.